Though I was originally supposed to give you a review of this a couple of weeks back for its anniversary and had to do something else, I am finally at long last going to give this to you. A film that recently celebrated its 40th anniversary this month. Of course, you may know last year I did a Saturday morning TV log on the actual series this film's based off of. And now, you may know this colorful gal has charmed our way into our hearts in the 80s with our cartoon series, the dolls, the toys, even the music, and her cereal as well. So prepare yourselves because we're about to talk about her movie. Here's my review of Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 1985 animated fantasy flick Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer, released by Warner Brothers and produced along with Deke and Hallmark Cards. The film was released on November 15th, 1985, the only feature film to feature the green card character of Rainbow Brite, but she did also appear in a few TV specials prior to its release, and later in a TV series. Yes, this was before the TV series even happened. In the film, the titular character of Rainbow Brite tries to bring spring to an Earth that is already facing a perpetual winter. She must stop a wicked princess who wants all of Spectra, a planet-sized diamond through which all the light in the universe must pass. Well, the film got mixed and into negative reviews, but in later years, mustard. The film unfortunately sits at a measly 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film did okay. We don't really didn't have a report budget. It made about almost 5 million. Let's begin. When Rainbow Brite and her magical horse Starlight go to Earth to start spring, they meet Stormy, another magical girl who controls winter with her horse Skydancer. She, however, does not want to end her winter fun, so Rainbow battles her for control over the season. She proves to be no match for Rainbow and Starlight, who outrun her and head off to Earth. When they arrive, they meet up with Brian, the only boy on Earth who can see them. Once Rainbow tries to start spring, however, her power weakens and winter remains. Brian becomes worried that spring will never come and senses that all of humanity is losing hope. Even Rainbow is confused, reassuring Brian that they will do what they can to return spring. Rainbow and Starlight return to Rainbow Land. Rainbow is paid a visit by Onyx, a strange robotic horse with rockets for legs. Onyx delivers a message that the leader of Spectra, Orin, has gone missing. Rainbow takes the mission to find Orin and later learns that Spectra is dimming as a result of a massive net being woven around its surface. The net is being made so that a selfish princess, known only as the Dark Princess, can call, well, not call, but can steal Spectra, the greatest diamond in all the universe, for herself and tow it back to her world with her massive spaceship. The native sprites of Spectra, enslaved by glitter bots under the princess' control, are being forced to weave the net. Now Rainbow must stop the princess' plan before all life on Earth is frozen solid by an endless winter. Helping Rainbow and Starlight is Chris, Krys, a boy from Spectra who believes he can take on the princess and save his homeworld by himself without the help of a dumb girl. He at first refers to Rainbow as. When they meet Orin, he tries to make them work together to stop the princess. He tells them that they can only destroy her by combining their own powers against her. Getting in the way of their mission is the well, murky Dismal and his bumbling assistant Lurky, who, as usual, are lavishing in the new gloom created by the darkening of Spectra, as well as trying to steal Rainbow's magical color belt. After dodging Murky, Rainbow and Chris enter the princess's castle and try to convince her that what she's doing will destroy the universe, but she's determined to have Spectra for herself and traps them instead after she takes Rainbow's belt. They escape the dungeon when Starlight retrieves Rainbow's belt. However, the Dark Princess, now enraged, uses her powerful crystal to create a vortex to send Rainbow, Chris, Starlight, and Onyx to a prison plant. Sergeant Zombo captures Starlight while Rainbow was attacked by humanoid lizard creatures who takes Chris and Onyx to Zombo's castle. Now for the ending. You know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, depending if you're a big Rainbow Brite fan, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Rainbow meets Orin there, who explains that Chris and Rainbow must destroy the princess's crystal, as that is the source of her powers. They find an unguarded entrance to the palace and find the princess in her throne room. In the midst of a duel with the princess, Murky and Lurky crash their ship into the throne room. This distracts the princess long enough for Rainbow and Chris to destroy her power crystal. The defeated princess runs to her spaceship with the intention of crashing into Spectra to destroy it. However, Rainbow uses her rainbow to deflect the spacecraft away from the diamond plant, prompting it to explode. The enslaved sprites are freed and immediately destroy the net so that Spectra radiates its magical light once again. On Earth, a warm spring finally arrives as life returns there, and Rainbow returns to Rainbow Land, finding her friends are back to normal. End of story. So, what did I think of Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer? Now, I've seen this a few times. This is the first time I've seen it in some time. I watched it on the Internet Archive, which that's one place you can find it. But anyway, I gotta say, this is easily another underrated animated film. I think it's absolutely very good. I mean, as I grew up watching Rainbow Brite in the 80s, and of course having her music, her first ever music album, Rainbow in Your Heart, which believe me, I still have fond memories of that. I gotta say, it's really good. I mean, the film was actually the second feature film made by Deke, who had earlier success with their first two shows, which were Inspector Gadget, showing in syndication, and The Littles, which was on ABC. Deke was hired by Hallmark to produce the first three syndicated specials centering on Rainbow Brite, and their success led to the production of a feature movie based on the toy. Now, the film was directed by French animator Bernard Dariz. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, who was well known at the time for the sci-fi series, which include Ulysses 31 and The Mysterious Seas of Gold, which I do remember that show, watching now on Nickelodeon. I can't quite remember Ulysses 31, though. Both of those were animated by Japanese studios, along and the other director was Kimio Yabuki, which was Bernard's Japanese partner, a legendary animator at Toei Animation, and former cohort of Hayao Miyazaki. Now, of course, the music for this was good, as it had songs like, well, the music like what we would hear on the actual show. Of course, Haim Saban and Shuki Levy composed the music, which of course they had already done the music for various other shows, like Inspector Gadget and the Lils, as well as other non-Deke produced shows like the Mr. T cartoon from Ruby Spears, as well as Filmation's He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, and She-Ra, Princess of Power, which had premiered a few months prior before this was released. Anyway, During the movie's initial release, screens were exclusive to matinee engagements, 3 shows a day, according to Barry Reardon, who was Warner's president of distribution at that time. So the film did okay, making almost 5 million at the North American box office. Months before, 13 episode syndicated series appeared on the Kiddio TV blog, which was produced by Deep for syndication. A tie-in comic book to the film was issued by DC Comics. There was also an additional promotional tie-in for the film. Ralston Purina, makers of the Rainbow Brite cereal, which I'm pretty sure I think I've had before, offered a limited time mail-in offer for a full-size poster, which that was pretty cool. Anyway, it is available on physical media and what have you. But however, most of them are unfortunately now out of print. So it'd be tough to find these films on even DVD at a good price. This film's unfortunately not on Blu-ray. Yeah, as much as I hate to say it. Now, then, now of course, aside from the music they composed, there was also 2 songs in here. As story co-writer Howard Cullen wrote the lyrics for 2 songs, "Brand New Day" and "Rainbow Brite Me," which happened to be the closing theme for the actual Rainbow Brite animated series. The reviews were mixed to negative, as Janet Maslin of the New York Times said in her short review that it isn't a movie, it's a marketing tool. She was referring to Anime Affair, which at the time had just begun the practice of cashing in on pre-sold toy lines. Well, that's understandable, but anyway, Michael Blowen of the Boston Globe said it is so incompetent, incompetent, incompetently, excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied here, crafted that it makes the Saturday morning cartoon seem like Disney classics. Stuart Fisher, a contributor for Jerry Beck's animated movie guide, saying, "Sorry kids, the Star Stealer was here," referring to the 0 stars given to in the book. The Family Guide to Movies on Video called it not strong on imagination or substance, but lots of color and action designed to sell dolls to the toddler set. Well, that's understandable, but I disagree on some of these. As I grew up with Rainbow Brite, I unfortunately never got to see the movie as a kid, but when growing up, I did encounter it on TV, and I thought it was pretty good. And I think it was just so amazing and so colorful and what have you. It brought back the good old days of seeing the titular character. Believe me, I think people are just now still completely being a little ignorant on this and what have you. But if you're an A's kid that grew up with Rainbow Brite, I bet y'all loved it. I bet. Now, of course, this was actually the second time, if I'm not mistaken. Was it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the second time we actually got a film based on an animated series at that time to come out. The other was, of course, The Secret of the Sword, which was the first 5 episodes of She-Ra, Princess of Power, edited together to form a movie, which I have yet to review that, but I will possibly next year, because even though I was late since I missed the deadline for reviewing that, but don't worry, I'll make up for that. Anyway, Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer is very good. I think its story's not too bad, but it does have great characters. Now, once again, we have most of the cast with actually going to reprise their voices for the actual series, including Bettina Bush, credited only as Bettina, voicing Rainbow Brite. Patrick Fraley, or Pat Fraley, who I've known from many cartoons later on after he did, like the Filmation Ghostbusters series, as well as Brave Star and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, voiced Lurky, Onyx, Buddy Blue, one of the Color Kids, and lots of others. Peter Cullen, another also from the Filmation Ghostbusters tune, and also he recently voiced Mario in the Donkey Kong segment on Saturday Supercade, and also characters on the Biscuits, and also the Pac-Man cartoon. Yeah, he's good. And he voiced Murky and Sky Dancer and others. Robbie Lee voices Twink, Rainbow's great friend, as well as Shy Violet, Indigo, Lala Orange, those were other color kids, and the Sprites, were Twinks kind. Andre Stochka voiced Starlight, who does a very good job. David Mendenhall voiced Chris, good. Rhonda Aldrich as the princess, good. Les Tremayne, who I know his voice, well, since he appeared as the mentor to Billy Batson in Filmation's Shazam TV show, and a year prior he had voiced the wishing well in Daffy Duck's movie Fantastic Island. He voices Orin. We also have Mullen Marshall as Red Butler and Patio Green, Canary Yellow, three other color kids. Yeah, we also have Jonathan Harris as Count Blog, another character. Marissa Mendenhall, oh, I'm pretty sure it's kin to David Mendenhall as Stormy. We have Charles Adler, well, Charlie Adler to you, voicing the character of Popo. David Workman as Sergeant Zombo, and Scott Menville, who of course lent his voice in numerous cartoons, voicing Brian, who also, I believe, also appeared in the cartoon. I know he appeared in a commercial for the Rainbow Brite cereal. But anyway, I'd only recommend this film a one-time watch if you are a hardcore fan of Rainbow Brite. Or if you were an 80s kid that grew up with Rainbow Brite and you didn't know this film existed, I still would recommend you give this movie a shot. I think you'll really like it if you give it a whirl. And that's about all I can tell you. So what did you think of Rainbow Brian the Star Stealer? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you my December schedule for the channel. So if you like this, check out the Saturday morning TV logs I did for these other cartoons that were based off of characters from, well, green cards, but they may be from another company though, American Greens. Check out the Saturday morning TV log I did for the Care Bears, which also would have a show from Deke in the upper left hand corner. In the upper right hand corner is my Saturday morning TV log on the Get Along Gang, also from Deke. Or if you would like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my Saturday morning TV log I did on the actual Rainbow Brite cartoon itself. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya.